Good morning, young scholars. Our story begins at 9 o'clock in the morning in the corridor outside Class 4C at Pinnacle Academy, one of the finest schools in the city. Pinnacle Academy has a motto, 3 words, carved in stone above the gate: dare, differ, dazzle. It is taken very, very seriously. This morning, something purple is drifting from under the door of Class 4C. And from inside that classroom drifted out the warm and proud and entirely unbothered voice of Harry Fumble. Hope all is well out there. This is the story of Mr. Harry Fumble, new teacher, first day. Mrs. Vandana Sharma had been principal of Pinnacle Academy for 18 years. She felt, prepared for most things. Harry knocked on her office door, pushed it open, and stepped inside. The spring door came back, smacked him on his nose. Mr. Fumble was used to these accidents. He shrugged it off and said cheerfully, "Good morning, ma'am. Harry Fumble here. General Studies. Absolute pleasure to be here. Pinnacle Academy. Magnificent institution. The eagle on the gate is very realistic." Mrs. Sharma very seriously responded, "That must be a real eagle because we don't have any eagle emblem. Anyways, welcome, Mr. Fumble. Please sit." Harry sat in the wrong chair, the one beside the desk, not opposite it. He was now sitting next to Mrs. Sharma rather than across from her. Mrs. Sharma was a little shocked to see Mr. Fumble sitting next to her, but she kept her cool and proceeded. Class 4C, 22 students, ages 9 and 10, bright children, Mr. Fumble. They ask questions. Harry was quick to react. "Excellent, I enjoy questions." "Can you answer them?" asked Mrs. Sharma. "I can answer any question." Of course, Mr. Fumble was confident because he never cared if his answer was right or wrong. Mrs. Sharma opened her small notebook and made a note. Tremendous confidence. Refreshing. Mrs. Sharma continued, "Mr. Fumble, at Pinnacle Academy we push further, we go beyond. Our motto, dare, differ, dazzle, is not decoration on a gate. It is a way of life. Is that understood?" Harry replied with complete, absolute seriousness. "Dare, differ, dazzle. Understood completely." Mrs. Sharma opened her notebook again. Wrote, "Grasps the school philosophy immediately. Outstanding." Class 4C was a bright class. They knew that a new teacher meant anything was possible. Harry set his briefcase on the desk. The briefcase immediately fell off the desk. Harry was unperturbed. "I'll leave it there. Better feng shui." "Good morning, young scholars. I am Mr. Fumble, General Studies. Today, in the true spirit of Pinnacle Academy, we shall dare to do something different. We begin with a science demonstration." From his briefcase on the floor, Harry produced a thermos of tea, a jar of pickle, and a packet of baking powder he normally used for his scones. He lined them up on the desk with the quiet precision of a man unveiling something important. Arjun stood up and asked, "Are we making scones?" Harry responded regally, "We are making science. The scones are incidental." At the back of the classroom, Dev quietly opened his notebook and wrote one word. "Run," and showed it to the other students. He did not run. Nobody ran. They didn't want to miss what they thought was about to happen. Harry continued. Step 1. Combine the base with the acid. A small fizz ensued. Adequate, but we are not here for adequate. He added more baking powder. A larger fizz, more promising. Harry nodded. Better. But still, any ordinary school could produce this. We must go further. We must differ. He added considerably more. The jar began to tremble. One child quietly pushed his chair back 3 inches. Then another child, then another. Muttering, dare, differ, dazzle, Harry added the rest of the packet. The pickle jar, slowly, magnificently, with tremendous dignity, erupted. Ka-boom! Not a small fizz, not a medium reaction, a dazzle. Whoosh! Purple foam shot to the ceiling. It hit the lights, the windows, the walls. It rained down on Class 4C in a generous, committed, spectacularly purple shower. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bubbles the size of oranges floated serenely across the classroom. Harry watched all of this proudly. He turned to the board and wrote, "Today's achievement, dare, differ, dazzle," and inserted a tick mark next to it. "I'll be back shortly." And walked out of the classroom with the quiet dignity of a man who has dazzled and knows it. Mrs. Sharma came around the corner. She stopped. She looked at Harry. She looked at the mist. She looked at Harry's foam-dusted hair and jacket. She looked at the mist again. Harry, warm, raising one hand. "Ah, Mrs. Sharma, perfect timing. I believe Class 4C has just had its most dazzling lesson of the term." Mrs. Sharma, very quietly. "Mr. Fumble, what is coming from under that door?" Harry said, "The Dazzle, Mrs. Sharma. We dared to go further than other schools. We differed from every ordinary experiment, and we dazzled. I take our motto quite seriously, you know." Mrs. Sharma looked through the classroom window. 22 children were dancing in absolute bliss in a purple, pickle-scented mist. Mrs. Sharma opened her notebook and wrote, "Took the school motto to its absolute logical conclusion. Showed outstanding commitment to institutional values. What remarkable dedication." She closed the notebook and looked questioningly at Mr. Fumble. "What next, Mr. Fumble?" "The conclusion and consequence." He walked off cheerfully to find the mop cupboard. Harry returned with a mop, also a broom, also someone's umbrella that had been in the cupboard. He was not entirely sure which one was for mopping, but he had brought all three options in the spirit of daring to differ. He opened the classroom door, surveyed the purple foam-settled room with the warm satisfaction of an artist looking at a finished painting. "Right then, young scholars, all hands on deck. This is part 2 of today's lesson." Arjun asked, "What's the lesson?" Harry said, "Facing the consequences." Part 2. Every extraordinary dazzle leaves an extraordinary mess. We clean it up together. That is the Pinnacle Academy way. And Harry proceeded to take a mop and mop himself into a corner and stood there proudly as if it was the absolute intention. The students looked at him in shock. Nobody said anything. It didn't matter. Class 4C cleaned their classroom together, laughing, joking, genuinely engaged, and nobody had planned a single moment of it. Mrs. Sharma stood in the doorway. She watched Class 4C, working together, cheerful, organized, more engaged than they had been in any lesson that week. She watched Harry Fumble mopping himself into a corner, and made a note of it. I must ask him what was his intention in doing such a blatant error. Perhaps there is some lesson there, too. At the end of his first day at Pinnacle Academy, Mr. Harry Fumble had, without meaning to, without planning to, without any idea that he had, taught 22 children that extraordinary effort leaves extraordinary results, that you clean up what you create, that you do it together, and that seeing something through to the end is what separates the dazzlers from everyone else. Harry straightened his glasses and said, "Excellent session, my dear scholars. Have a nice day." He picked up his briefcase. The belt fell off. Everything inside cascaded onto the floor. Another normal day for Harry Fumble. Beginning of an extraordinary season for Pinnacle Academy.